So we'll start with the lecture. Now we'll apply finite difference method for heat conduction equation, that is parabolic equation. This is the one-dimensional heat conduction equation. Del by u by del by t is equal to c square del by square u by del by square, where c square is the constant depending upon the material properties of the rod. Initial condition is given to you, boundary conditions are given to you. In boundary conditions, you will be given n conditions. Now we'll see what is explicit method. There are two types of method, implicit and explicit. First we'll study what is the explicit method. Like this you have seen, two types of methods are there that we are going to apply for parabolic equations. Okay, so in explicit methods we have seen that solution at each nodal points on the current time level is obtained from the previous time level. So if I want to find the solution of each nodal point on level j, I will have to obtain it from the previous level. Okay, in implicit methods we solve a linear system of algebraic equation for all the unknowns on any mesh line t is equal to tj plus 1. Now as we study these methods in detail, we'll know exactly what are explicit methods and implicit methods. Now in explicit method, the schematic method is the most probably used method, or it is the most popular method that you can say. It is applied to parabolic equations. Now you consider this point I j plus 1. Okay, so the points below it is ij, over here it is I minus 1j, on the right it is I plus 1j. Consider this as middle term, this as left term, and this as right term. We are on the level j plus 1. We are interested in finding the solution at this point I j plus 1 point. At this point we are interested in finding the solution. Okay, this is the level j plus 1, this is the level j, so it is a two level formula. Now in this, by Schmidt method, the formula is for this nodal point uij plus 1, the formula is lambda into ui minus 1j. So lambda into ui minus 1j plus 1 minus 2 lambda into uij plus 1 minus 2 lambda into uij, this term, plus lambda into ui plus 1j plus lambda into ui plus 1j. So if you have to find the solution at this nodal point, you must know this below, these three nodal points below. All of you are getting what you have to do. If you have to find solution at this point, this nodal point, you must know the values at these 3 points. Okay, on the below level. And how to write the formula? Ui j plus 1 is equal to lambda into ui minus 1j plus 1 minus 2 lambda into uij plus lambda into I plus 1 comma j. So in general you can write the formula in this manner. This is the simplest form. You can remember the formula: lambda into left term plus 1 minus 2 lambda into middle term plus lambda into right term. It's very simple to remember this formula. So lambda is what? Lambda is k c square upon h square. K is increment in time, h is increment in x. So k c square upon h square is the formula of lambda, which is known as mesh ratio parameter. Okay, So in this we have obtained the value from previous time level, that is Tj. This method is called Schmidt method. It is a two-level method. Why two-level methods? Because we are interested in finding solution at this nodal point and we are considering a previous solution. So we are considering only we are considering only two levels over here. So it is known as two-level method. Now, stability of numerical computations plays the important role. Stability is very important in numerical computations. Like you have seen convergence in Newton-Raphson method. Here there is a term known as stability. Stability means what? Stability means that the cumulative effect of all errors, is tends to zero as computation progresses along t-axis. The cumulative of all errors it should tends to zero as computation progresses along t-axis. So analysis of Schmidt method gives that method is stable. Method is stable only if this condition gets satisfied. That is, lambda should be less than 1 by 2. For stability of this method, lambda should be less than 1 by 2. So stability plays an important role over here in this Schmidt method, and the value of this stability, it depends upon the k h square. Okay, the k is what? K is the increment in time, h is the increment in x value. So in this way we are finding lambda, and then if it is less than or equal to 1 by 2, then only we can say the method is stable method. So you remember this formula, it is very simple formula, and by this formula we will solve problem. Now consider a problem over here. Uxx is equal to 32 ut. Uxx is equal to 32 ut. The interval of x is given. So x is having an interval of 0 to L. This is L. So it is having interval of 0 to L. Sorry, not L. Now here it is 1. So x value changes from 0 to 1. Taking h is equal to 0.2. What is the increment in x? Increment in x is given as 0.25, which is h. Now conditions are given to ux comma 0 is equal to 0 in the interval 0 less than x less than l. U0t is equal to 0. U1t is equal to t greater than 0. Now how to read this condition I will tell you below or further. Use an explicit method with lambda is equal to 1 by 2. Now here they have given you the value of lambda. Here they have not given you the value of k, but here they have given you the value of lambda, which is equal to 1 by 2. And they have told you that compute for 4 time steps. Means you have to consider 4 time steps. How this we have to compute. Now why this is told compute for 4 time steps? Because t interval is not given to you. As you can see over here, x interval is given to x varies from 0 to 1. Like this, t interval is not given to you. Okay, so from this you have to find the initial value of t and final value of t. Okay, now the given equation is what? Here it is uxs is equal to 32 ut. We'll write this in this form. So ut is equal to 1 by 32 uxs. What we'll write? Ut is equal to 1 by 32 uxs. That is, del by u by t is equal to 1 by 32 del by square u by del by square. Now we'll compare it with our regular formula. What is the formula? Ut is equal to c square uxs. So when you compare the given equation with the regular equation, what you get is, or with the standard equation, what you get is that the value of c square is equal to 1 by 32. You are getting the value of c square as 1 by 32. So lambda is known to you. Lambda is having the value of 1 by 2. H you are knowing to you. H is what? H is increment in x. It is 0.25. So from this equation, using this equation, lambda is equal to kc square by h square, you can find out the value of k. So the value of k is equal to 1. So increment in t. So t increases by what? 1. Okay. T increases by 1. So initial condition. Now how to determine the initial conditions and boundary conditions from this? It is given ux comma 0 is equal to 0. Now ux, it is what? Ux comma 0. Here 0 denotes what? It is the t value. U is function of what? X and t. So here ux comma 0 means what? This is t value, means what? At time t is equal to 0 and at any x u is having a value of 0. You first understand how to read the conditions. Reading the conditions is very much important. If you understand this, then only you can find out your answer. But understanding the conditions is very important. How to read it? U at any value of x and at time t is equal to 0 is having the value as 0. So u will be 0 at any value of x and time t is 0. So now what we are doing is that we have to prepare a table in this manner. You can see over here a table is prepared. You have to write the x values over here horizontally. You are writing the t values vertically. Okay. So x initial value is what? 0. X final value is what? 1. What is the increment? Increment is given as h 0.25. So initial value is 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75 and final value is 1. Now t, time is what? 0. Initially time is 0. Okay. Then they have told you compute for 4 time steps. Compute for 4 time steps means what? 0 plus 1, 1 plus 1 again 2, increment in t is 1, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 1 4. Like this 4 time steps we are taking. We are adding the increment 4 times. So you are getting the limit of t as 0 to 4. This is the limit of t from 0 to 4. Once you have prepared this, you return the value of x and t. Then what is the condition given? See, this condition is given at u is equal to 0. U is equal to 0 when t is equal to 0 for all values of x. Now here you can see t is equal to 0. This is column. What does this row tells you? That in this row you consider any point, at that point t is equal to 0. Are you getting it? Consider this row, at this row, in this row at any point t will be always 0, and x is what? X is any value of x in this row. So what is the condition to be written? So you have to write 0 first over here. In this row you write all the zeros for all values of x. T is 0, therefore u value is what? 0. You write 0 0 0 0 0 in this way. Now this is the initial condition. Time condition is the initial condition. Now you have to write the boundary conditions. How boundary conditions are written? The boundary conditions, they are written in this manner. So this is the boundary condition. Boundary conditions will be what? At the two endpoints. Boundary conditions will be along the two endpoints. What are the two endpoints? X is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. These are the two endpoints. So here you can see u 0 comma t is equal to 0. Now this 0, it is what? X is equal to 0. And t means what? It represents u. T represents u anytime t. So when x is equal to 0 and t is anytime t, all u is equal to 0. So this condition, how to apply this condition, that we will see here. U is equal to 0. U is equal to 0 at x is equal to 0. So this is the column containing x value as 0. You can see in this column x value is 0, x we are taking as 0 for any time t. Over here there is a time column. Here on any time t, here at any time t, you can see u values are zeros. Is that clear to you? U at x is equal to 0 and at any time t, u is equal to 0. So you are getting, you have to write? You have to write in this column of x is equal to 0. You have to write all the values as 0. See how I am doing. All the values we are writing 0. Why we are writing 0? Because it has told to you that when x is equal to 0, at any value of t, u will be 0. So this we have got now. Now another condition is given to you. What is the another condition given to you? At x is equal to, so another condition is given to you as at x is equal to 1, t is equal to t. Sorry, at x is equal to 1 and at any time t, what is the value of u? It is equal to t. So here we'll represent that at x is equal to 1. So here you can see x is equal to 1 and t is what? Any time t. At any time t, what is the value of u? It is equal to t. Means what they are telling is that in this over here we have to write that the u values as equal to t values. So what values we are having of t? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this way you have to plot the boundary conditions first. The initial, this column here we have plotted the initial conditions. Here we have plotted the two boundary conditions at x is equal to 0 and at x is equal to 1. So you can see the pink area, that these points we are knowing, the pink area points we are knowing. Okay, this we can write from the boundary conditions. Now you have to find the values between this. You have to find the values between this, that is this all values. Now how to find? You have to go step by step. Suppose consider over here this point, this node you have to find the value of this node. So it will be what? For this point, this will be left term, this will be middle term, and this will be right term. Okay, so what is the formula? Lambda into left term plus 1 minus 2 lambda into middle term plus lambda into right term. So 0, here you can see over here the formula is lambda into ui minus 1j, 1 minus 2 uij plus lambda into ui plus 1. This is our regular formula. So if you substitute, lambda is given to you, what is the value of lambda? Lambda is 1 by 2. So if you substitute the value of lambda over here as 1 by 2, so this middle term gets cancelled, because 1 minus 2 into 1 by 2, it becomes 1 minus 1, 0. So this middle term gets cancelled. So what remains? Only ui minus 1j and ui plus 1j, these terms remain, and multiplied by lambda. So lambda is having 1 by 2 value, that is 0.5. So j are having j uij, we are taking uij. Okay, so j it is having values from 0, 1, 2, 3, I it is having values from 1, 2 and 3. Now here first I will tell you from the figure how to determine the values. Okay, so for this it is left term, middle term and right term. So you are getting the answer as 0 for this term also. For this u, this is the left, this is the middle, this is the right, so again it is 0. For this u, left, middle and right. Like this we have obtained the values in at t is equal to 1 second. At t is equal to 1 second, we have obtained all the values. From what? From the previous values. We have obtained these values from the previous values. And how we have obtained? Just we have performed the addition or multiplication. So this is the explicit method. From the previous value, we are finding the nodal value. Now we are knowing the values at t is equal to 1 second. Now we have to find values at t is equal to 2 seconds. Now for this point, for this nodal point, left term is which one? This is the left term, this is the middle term, and this one is the right term. So again, left term into lambda, that is 0, plus 1 minus 2 lambda into 0, plus lambda into 0, it becomes 0. So we have got this as 0. Again over here, for this nodal point, this is the left term, middle term, and right term. Here also you will get all zeros. Now for this point over here, we'll apply the formula. Which formula? This formula will apply. We are finding the point, nodal point over here. We'll apply this formula. What is the formula? 0.5 left term plus right term. Middle, what has happened to middle term? It has become 0. So what is the remaining? Left term plus right term. 0.5 into left term plus right term. So when we have to find value at this point, left term is which one? 0 is the left term. Right term is which one? 1 is the right term. So 0.5 into bracket 0 plus 1. What it will be? 0 plus 1, 1. So 1 into 0.5, it will be 0.5. Thus you are getting the value over here as 0.5. Okay. So now we have obtained the values for t is equal to 2 seconds. Now you have to obtain the values for t is equal to 3 seconds. Now here you have to find the value. So over here, this will be your left term, this will be your right term. So 0.5 into left term plus right term, it is 0 plus 0, 0. Now for this 0.25 term, this will be your left term, this will be your right term. So 0.5 into bracket left term plus right term. So 0.5 into 0.5, it will be 0.25. So you are getting the 0.25 value over here. Then we have to find the value over here at this point. So it will be what? Left term plus right term, that is 0 plus 2, 2 into 0.5, that is 1 you will get over here. In this way you have to obtain the value of at t is equal to 3 seconds. Now here we have to obtain the values for t is equal to 4 seconds. Now consider this point. For this nodal point, 0 will be the left term, 0.25 will be the right term. So left term plus right term into, what is the formula? Left term plus right term into left term plus right term into 0.5. This formula we have obtained from this formula. This is not the regular formula. This is obtained from the by this formula as lambda is equal to 1 by 2. Remember this. Otherwise what will happen? You will remember this formula only. It's not this. This is the original formula is this. After putting the value of lambda is equal to 1 by 2, we have gained this formula. So now at this point we have to find the value at t is equal to 4 seconds. So for finding this nodal value, this is your left term and this is your right term. So 0 plus 0.25, it is 0.25 into 0.5. Into 0.5 it becomes 0.125. Now here you have to find this. For this, it is left term is 0, right term is 1. So 1 plus 0, 1 into 0.5, 1 into 0.5, it becomes 0.5. Now here, for this, left term is 0.25, right term is what? 3. So it is 3.25. Outside the bracket it is 0.5. So 3.25 into 0.5, it gives you the value as 1.625. So in this way you have to obtain the value at t is equal to 4 seconds. Now these mark values, it will be your answer. The yellow values, the values marked in yellow, that is your answer. You have to represent it like this. You have to show over here, answer is this one. So you have to find these values from the previous value. You can see the values, these values we have found out from the previous value, these values we have found out from, so we are finding the values from the previous values. Okay, and how we are finding it? Just by doing some addition and multiplication. So this is nothing but the explicit methods, and an individual value we are finding over here. Yes or no? An individual value we are finding from the previous values. So this is nothing but the explicit method known as skimmed method. It is two level method, as we are considering only two levels at a time. So you can see the solution in detail over here. In this way they are finding. I have explained you orally, but actually while doing the process or calculation, you have to go by this way. Okay, you can refer it afterwards, but this is the way in which you have to solve it or obtain the values. You can see this is the answer: 0.125, 0.5 and 1.625. The approximate solutions are 0.125, 0.5 and 1.625. that we have got over here: 0.125, 0.5 and 1.625. So this is the simple method known as skimmed method, which comes under the category of explicit methods. So you should know what is the explicit method first, and then you can, and if it is asked in the exam, it will be asked in this way: use an explicit method. So you have to use the skimmed method over here. Then we'll go on to implicit methods. Now in implicit methods, like we have seen in explicit methods has or have the disadvantage that they have a stability condition. As I explained you, stability condition is required in explicit methods. Okay, what is the stability condition? Stability condition is that the lambda value, it should be less than equal to 0.5. This is the stability condition for explicit method, but such types of condition is not required in implicit methods. Okay, and what is the stability condition? It condition severely restricts the value of step length h and k. Lambda value, it depends upon the value of h and k. So the stability condition is strictly restricts the value of h and k. In most practical problems where the computation is to be done up to a large value of t, in most of the problems what happens is that the value of t is very large. We are not taking for some seconds, we are taking for some minutes, for hours, because practical problem, generally we are taking readings at stability conditions or steady conditions. When steady conditions to reach, it requires minimum 3, 4 or 5 hours like this. So in hours, so when we are having the value of t, large values of t, then at that time explicit methods, they are not useful. Okay, in that case we go for implicit methods. Okay, so this is the basic difference between implicit and explicit methods. No stability conditions required, also no restriction on the value of h and k. Now here you can see the method in implicit method is the Crank-Nicolson method. This method we are going to see is the Crank-Nicolson method. Consider that you have to obtain the solution at this nodal point. Okay, consider that you have to obtain solution at this nodal point. So when you have to obtain solution at this nodal point, you require these all other points. These all other points you will require to obtain the solution at this nodal point. In explicit method, to obtain the solution at this nodal point, you are requiring only these 3 nodes, but here the neighboring nodes are also required. Okay, so when neighboring nodes are required, these neighboring nodes, they are having, their values are not known to you. When we consider in the formula these neighboring nodes, this node and this node, their values are unknown. Okay, so when values are unknown, it will give you different equations. Okay, and that equations you have to solve simultaneously and obtain the values. So this is the difference between, or this is the implicit method, that what when you are finding nodal points, solution at a nodal points, the other nodal points at the same level are also considered. You can see the other nodal points at the same level are considered. In the explicit method, we were not considering the nodal points at the same level. Therefore, we were easily finding out the value of this nodal point from the previous nodal points, previous level nodal points. But here, as the neighboring nodal points are considered, we can't get directly the value of this nodal point. So we have to write equation for each and every nodal point, neighboring nodal point. Then you have to form simultaneous equation. And then you have to solve to obtain the values of all the 3 points. So this is the implicit method. So according to Crank-Nicolson method, what is the formula is? The formula is ui j plus 1. Suppose we are at this point, ui j plus 1 minus lambda by 2. You have to take lambda by 2 in bracket u I plus 1 j plus 1 minus 2 into middle term plus left term. Okay, how we are writing the formula? First we are writing, we want to find ui j plus 1, that we are writing over here, ui j plus 1 minus lambda by 2 we are taking outside. What we are writing in this bracket is that this term, right term, minus 2 into middle term plus left term. Okay, so left part is covered. Now we'll write for right part. So when you are writing this right part, on the right side of equal to sign, you have to consider the previous level. Okay, so you have to write in similar manner that you have written in for left part. Here you can see, here it will be now ui comma j, that instead of minus, here it will take plus lambda by 2, right term ui plus 1 j minus 2 into middle term ui comma j plus u minus 1 into j, that is the left term. It will be simple to remember this. Okay, or you can remember in this way also. Instead of repeating the nodal values or nodal points, what they have done is that they have simplified more. So minus lambda by 2 ui minus 1 j plus 1, lambda by 2 ui minus 1 j plus 1 plus 1 plus lambda into ui j plus 1 minus lambda by 2 ui plus 1 j plus 1. So on the left side they are writing the this level values, they are considering the nodal points at this level. On the right side they are considering the nodal points of previous level. So simplification of this is this left side, it is minus lambda by 2. You start from here, it's minus lambda by 2 into this point plus 1 plus lambda into this point, again minus lambda by 2 into right point is equal to, same you have to write for below level also, but here it will be plus. So lambda by 2, this point ui minus 1j plus 1 minus lambda ui minus ui comma j, this term, plus lambda by 2 ui plus 1 comma j. So here you can see, here it is 1 plus lambda, here it is 1 minus lambda, and here it is plus. So when it is minus over here, you have to take plus over here. When it is minus over here, you have to take plus over here. So middle term, there is addition sign. So you have to remember the formula. You can remember any of the formulas which is you feel easy. Now we'll consider the example related to this. Solve the equation del by u by del by t is equal to del by square u by del by x square, subjected to the conditions u x comma 0 is equal to sin pi x, x is having the interval 0 to 1, u 0t is equal to u 1t is equal to 0, using Crank-Nicolson method with h is equal to 1 by 3, k is equal to 1 by 36, do one step. Here they have told us to perform only one step. So initial value of t is equal to 0, so final value will be t0 plus k. Okay, so here when we compare this equation ut is equal to uxx with our standard equation, that is ut is equal to c square uxx, we get the value of c square is 1. When you are comparing this equation with the standard equation ut is equal to c square uxx, you get the value of c square as 1. H value they have given to you 1 by 3, k value is also given to you 1 by 36, so lambda is equal to kc square by h square, so you will get lambda as 1 by 4. So the lambda value will be 1 by 4. Now we are having the Crank-Nicolson formula. This is the Crank-Nicolson formula. Here you substitute lambda is equal to 1 by 4. So when you substitute lambda is equal to 1 by 4, the formula it reduces to this, or finally you get this formula. Okay, this is the formula that you get after substituting the value of lambda. Now the initial conditions are given to you. What is the initial condition? Initial condition I have told you. Initial condition is always taken at time t is equal to 0. So here you can see at time t is equal to 0, what is the value of u? U value is equal to sin pi x. At time t is equal to 0, u is having a value of sin pi x. So when u 0 0, initial condition is 0, u1 0, u1 0, that is sin pi into x is what? Increment of x is by 1 by 3. So 0 plus 1 by 3, it is what? 1 by 3. So here you have to substitute x as 1 by 3. You will get it as equal to under root 3 by 2. Then you have to find u20. What is u20? U pi into 2 by 3. U pi into 2 by 3, that will be u20. So it is the values they are coming same as under root 3 by 2. Then u 3 by 0, the value it is coming as 0, because sin pi you can see when you are substituting the last value of x as 1, you get sin pi. So sin pi is what? It's 0. The boundary condition are given the values u 0 j is equal to 0. At boundary condition it is given that when x is equal to 0, all the values of u are 0. When x is equal to 1, at any time t, all the values of u are 0. These conditions are given over here. Okay. Now what you have to do is that you are having 3 nodal points over here. Okay, you are having 3 nodal points over here. This at x is equal to 0, these points you are knowing. You are also knowing points on this line. Points on this line, they are 0. Points on this line, they are also 0. Okay, so you have to find u at these 2 points. You have to find u at these 2 points. Okay, so we'll apply for formula first at this point. That is, Crank-Nicolson formula will be applied first at this point. Okay, so what is that point at j is equal to 0 and I is equal to 1? At j is equal to 0 and I is equal to 1, what you get is that substituting in this, you get the equation. This equation you get 10u11 minus u21 is equal to 6.06218. Then now here again j is equal to 0. J is equal to 0, I is equal to 2. Here j is equal to 0, I is equal to 2. And so over here, so it will be, now at this point you have to find out solution. At this point you have to find out. Then for this you'll have to consider this point, this point, this point, this point, and this point. So for this point and this point are the neighboring points, and this point, and this point are the previous points. This point's value you are knowing, and from that you can obtain the value at this point. Like this you have to proceed on further to obtain the value of each and every point. Okay, so we'll cover. So we have covered the Crank-Nicolson method. When you solve it here, it will be little confusing to you. When you solve by when you actually solve the problem, you will come to know how easy both the methods are. The schematic method is very easy, and it contains as this formula is easy, it takes only the previous value. But what happens to Crank-Nicolson method is that this Crank-Nicolson method, it takes the neighboring values also. So here you get this equations you get. Here you directly don't get the values. Here you can see, here you have got the equations. 2 equations we have got. This is the first equation, this is the second equation, and when we are solving this equation simultaneously, then you are getting the values of that nodal points. So this is the difference. So schematic method is little bit easy than the Crank-Nicolson method, but Crank-Nicolson method has the benefits that it has no limitation to time value. Okay, so this is about the both the methods, schematic method and Crank-Nicolson method. So in this way our theory part is covered now. All the units we have covered now. In assignment, more problems will be given to you to solve and practice. So you solve the assignments, you will come to know, or you will be familiar with this types of problem. Okay, so thank you. In this way we have covered our all the units. The theory part is almost covered. If you are having doubt, that doubts we'll discuss later related to some the doubts will be discussed later. Okay, thank you.